and whatnot. So starting with what competency-based learning is.
We picked out 4 main points for our competency-based learning for what it is. We believe that it is mastery, it is student-centered, everyone in the room is energized, focused, and engaged, and assessment is frequent and authentic, meaning that a lot of the time it is related to outside real-world experiences to deepen their learning. So for the examples, we wanted to give you a visual of kind of what an administrator would see, hear, and feel if they walked into a competency-based learning classroom. So the administrator walks in and sees students working in groups or pairs at a location in the classroom of their choice using a variety of strategies and tools to complete learning tasks. They might hear engaging conversations between students and teachers while collaborating to solve real-world problems. And they would feel a positive classroom community where students and the teacher respect each other's ideas and opinions. We also included a video here as well. After Travis uploads the presentation, you can go in from the Prezi and watch this at your own time. We won't play it right now for you.
So thinking about why competency-based learning is important to incorporate into your classrooms, learning becomes more meaningful and in-depth. Students are going beyond just the surface level. Students are taking ownership over their learning and becoming an active part of their learning journey. And students gain the ability to self-assess where they're at and what they need to work on, as well as set goals for themselves. And learning is constant and time becomes more flexible. We're not so much worried about the time constraints of units or weeks or projects, but more concerned about the learning and the process.
How does it look in the classroom? We wanted to include some visuals on this slide. So there might be some flex seating options. There's lots of collaboration working between small groups or pairs. And then just the main focus is the student. It's not a one-size-fits-all anymore. Each student has their own personalized path for their learning, and the teacher and everybody involved collaborates to make that path personalized. We then split up our categories into some things that you should do in your classroom if it's competency-based learning, and things that you would not want to do, or the don'ts of competency-based learning when transitioning from traditional to competency-based. So some of those do's are: you want it to be learner-centered, state clear objectives of learning, allow time for mastery, students take ownership in their learning and are given choices, and intentional instruction by using the gradual release of responsibility model. Some things that you don't want to do in your classroom during this transition, or things that you may want to start getting rid of and abandoning during that transition, would be that students are confined to seat time. Success is based on completion of work. Teaching is one-dimensional and the classroom is teacher-centered. And another thing that you don't want to do is that classrooms are very quiet, students speak only when called upon, and they have limited conversations.
So now that we've kind of gone through what competency-based learning is and why it's important and how it can be incorporated, or what it looks like in the classroom, thinking about the impact that this can have when it comes to equity and excellence in the classroom. Students understand where they're at in their learning at all times. They never have to guess what they need to work on. And then all students are held to the same rigorous standards. There's a separation of effort and academic standards as well, so that way their grades or the assessments can show their true understanding of what they know. And then also learning goes beyond memorization, and it requires students to actually apply the information into real-world situations, and causes them to think critically as well. So it's not just regurgitating information anymore, but actually using and applying the information. When you're thinking about shifting to a competency-based learning, we came up with this little diagram to show that you should shift from a teacher-centered classroom to more student-centered. It should shift from passive learning to an active learning classroom, and shifting from memorization to a deeper understanding, and then having only one teacher and shifting that mindset over to the whole community being involved, including parents, other teachers, administrators, other students, communicating globally with other classrooms as well. And then also shifting from worksheets, quizzes, and tests to more authentic assessments with real world applications as well. So that's kind of the big picture for competency-based learning, thinking about what it is and how it can be incorporated into the classroom, also the why and the impact behind it. Caitlin, anything to add before we close up?